In this video, information about the Halo Infinite technical previews come out. Gabe Newell does an interesting Stream Deck interview with IGN. Oculus Quest 2 actually gets recalled after people end up needing medical attention. Back 4 Blood beta and Battlefield 2042 new information. Let's get into it. The Halo Infinite technical preview, or beta for normal people, has started today, and they will be letting in hundreds of thousands of players who can all record, stream, and demo the content publicly. However, they've been sending out the invitations for the last 24 hours, so if you don't have your invitation by now, you've probably not got in. Although, you really question whether that'll be that big of a loss, because there won't be very much PvP in this, if at any. This will be mainly focused on 4v4 co-op, and, well, there will be various different difficulty levels for the bots, and they will be fought over 3 maps, and the content will change daily. That's about all there was. They do have the Academy available, but that's basically a glorified tutorial, and sort of shooting range. Now, they do have weapon drills, and these come in 3 different forms, but all these are a person standing still, someone crouching behind a box, and someone walking left and right. For an aiming drill, this really for me seemed very basic in an area where I've always thought that Valorant is basically the bare minimum that I would require to be called good, and I don't think that's particularly difficult to pull off either, so it's kind of what I expect if you're going to have any kind of aim range at all. Now, they have said that if they get enough bot data over the course of the weekend, then on Sunday they may do some limited 4v4 PvP action, which will be the first public demoed of its time, but this is expected to have quite a lot of bugs, so you shouldn't really expect it to be the most polished of all things. Also, you've got to bear in mind that this build is at least a couple of months behind where they already are, so it's got a load of errors in it and stuff which they've already found and fixed. I'm sure there's a game design reason for this, but really I'm not sure, even though you've made your players aware of it, exactly how forgiving they will be. But apart from that, I'm just looking forward to the footage of Halo Infinite. After the disastrous first footage we saw quite a while ago now, which then caused it to be delayed for a year, overall I'm just glad that we're finally getting something that actually looks good. But for me, really, I just hope I get into the PvP flight. On to the next story. Gabe Newell has done a rather interesting interview about the Steam Deck with IGN, and well, they tried to get him to really badmouth the Switch. He was like, no, this is for a very different demographic. The Switch is great for what it's meant to do with the games it's designed for, and the kind of age range that it's normally aimed at with that, whereas the Steam Deck seems to be aimed at a more adult PC gaming premium kind of area. And the association with that is that it is bigger and bulkier, but it has more power, which is what people want. They want a good experience with the games they got, and that's what they're going to go for. And all of this comes at a very aggressive pricing. While most people would have expected it to cost a lot more, he actually said that this is more a long-term strategy. He's trying to set up an entire new category of PC peripheral, or it's an entirely new category of PC. Intel did this with the Ultrabook, and this is about setting standards for the future. And so they've set it off to get adoption early on, and obviously hope that this can get extra players, new demographics into PC gaming in the long term. And he said that opportunities like this are normally exponential growth, so if you try and get the profit early on, you can kill the opportunity outright, rather than just look at a different part of the curve and see the returns later on. He was a very savvy businessman in that regard. Now, Gabe was asked about whether Valve had any plans to expand between sort of game hardware and software, and he kind of laughed it off as if that's enough work for many, many a lifetime. Although he did make one exception, and that was brain chip electronic interface technology. And, yeah, Gabe, I like your hardware, I like your platform, and I like the games that you sell, but that one, that you can keep to yourself, thanks. Now, quickly in between stories, if you like the video, press like and comment down below for the algorithm. As a small channel, all the interaction really helps me out, and I greatly appreciate it. Now, on to the next story. Now, the next story would have been predictable if anyone had actually given any of it any thought. When you get a big box and stick it on your face, humans sweat. And what does sweat do? Well, it gets absorbed into foam. So if you're going to make a, say, virtual reality headset and you put a foam front on it, all it's going to do is soak up the sweat, and that's going to be a breeding ground for bacteria. This is what Oculus has found out, as they've had to recall all of their headset pads after a growing number of complaints about actually actually getting skin irritation for it. Now, this actually gets quite severe because they said they only had 5,716 out of 4 million complaints. So, it's only a small percentage of people that actually complained, but 45 of the instances needed medical attention. I have no idea what your face is doing to itself to need medical attention like that, but I'm amazed that that can actually happen just by something that you put on your face. So I'm not surprised that they had to do a global recall for this. This could actually end up costing them a hell of a lot of money. Although, yes, it is just a small percent of people being affected, I would imagine that a lot of people would just be like, yeah, I'll take free stuff. I'll go through the recall. It sounds good to me. And so this could cost them quite a lot of money. They are actually pausing Quest 2 sales because of this, and they're going to resume from the 24th, where all headsets will come with the new silicone cover, which is also being sent out to people that actually apply for the recall. Now, they do say that this is voluntary, but let's be honest, no company is going to do a voluntary recall unless something is happening which would cause them to have a forced one. So this is obviously a very serious event, but Facebook seem to be acting in the right regards towards it, although it has taken them a very, very long time to do it. So I do ask the question again of, really, did they just have any choice? Is this something that was going to be forced upon them if they weren't going to do it voluntarily? Because if it is, they really don't deserve much credit. And let's face it, this is Facebook. Now, we have information about the Back 4 Blood beta. This is a game I'm very excited about because I was a huge fan of Left 4 Dead 2, and so anything like Left 4 Dead 2, if it's just updated for modern gameplay, it's good by me. Now, they will be having an open beta for everybody on August 12th to August 16th, and they will have an early access beta if you pre-order from August 5th to August 9th. And this will have 2 maps for the Swarm PvP mode, where one group plays Ridden and one group of players plays the actual humans, and they'll have 2 for the co-op where it's you versus the AI. It also includes a various different array of cleaners and weapons and Ridden from the previous beta, which was so long ago at this point, and you will be able to obviously get involved in cross-play and cross-gen support on this. So wherever your friends are, no matter what they use, you'll be able to play with them. In a mode like this where literally it's just you versus AI for most of the time and no one really needs to worry about aim assist, honestly, I think this is just upsides, and I think this is one of the huge genres and games that can really benefit from crossplay without any of the actual trouble that comes along with it. So for as far as I'm concerned, this just has upsides, this is good news, and I am really looking forward to this one. And finally, in Battlefield 2042 news, and yes, you'll be getting a lot of Battlefield 2042 news, they've announced that you won't have to reban players every time they rejoin your server. This is an improvement from other games, and it's actually desperately needed because, let's face it, any anti-cheat is going to be completely destroyed, and players are going to be needing to ban the hackers. This was always the case, this will always be the case, and this is why it's such a problem in things like Warzone, where the players just can't get involved. Now, they have said that they, at the current time, don't have any kind of server rental program, so EA will be eating the cost of servers themselves. But to be honest, I think rental servers are a good idea. It allows the players to be in complete and utter control of the server and allows them to change a lot more stuff and actually implement third-party tools and bots and that kind of thing. All in all, I think this should really be reconsidered by EA, and I think a rental server program of some sort, even if it's just to a limited number of trusted providers, would be really good for the game in the long term, and especially good for clans and groups of just anyone that wants to organize a big group. But for now, that's it from me. If you like the video, press like and subscribe for more videos in the future. Let me know what you thought of the stories down below. I always read the comments and reply to most of them, and with that, I will leave you for the next one. So for now, that's it from me. Thank you, and bye-bye.